Hey everybody, heading out on a day off to go make a little bit of extra side cash driving Uber. Just had a podcast idea the other day. I wanted to talk about some of the experiences that I've had first and second hand with mental health. Before I get into it, feel free to give me a comment. Let me know what you think about the show. Any questions you have for me, topics that you want to hear my opinion on, be more than happy to go down that road. Might have to do a little bit of research on it and then get back with you, but I'd be more than happy to do a show on it. First off, I do think that mental health is very important in this country. I don't think that there's the lack of mental health that a lot of people, or mental health care that a lot of people talk about. I think a lot of it is lack of knowledge that people have about what's available to them. Now, of course, I'm speaking about my local area. I'm not going to research any other states to find out the amount of mental care professionals that are available in other states or even locations in my state, but I'm speaking from the voice of experience in my area. I guess the first time that I dealt with any mental health care professional would have been around 10, maybe 11 years ago. Without going into details, basically, some things happened in the family and everything kind of started coming unglued, and so we sought some counseling, and it really, I don't know that it made us respect other people's decisions, but it helped us to understand the mental situation that they were in at that time with what they were dealing with. And also, like, okay, you had certain people that were acting out in the family, and this would have been like my parents and siblings. So, and then you had other people that were kind of stuck watching all this, wondering, like, what's their problem? Not understanding what they were going through. So it helped everybody kind of understand, well, when you're in this situation mentally and emotionally, you do tend to do things that would seem crazy to the majority of people. And that's kind of what was going on. The other way that it helped is the people that were kind of acting out and going crazy got to see how much their actions were affecting us or everybody else. That watching them tour a path of self-destruction was pretty trying for everybody else, because we knew kind of where that road went. Well, anyway, it helped with understanding, and then the counselor worked with everybody individually and in different pairs to try to mend some of the damage. And I can't say that she was 100% successful, but she definitely laid the groundwork for repairing some bridges. experience with mental health care would have been probably about 6 years ago. When I met my wife, I've told you all kind of the gist of mine and her meeting each other and a little bit of her backstory. Dealing with an ex-husband that was capable of doing the stuff that he did to their children at the time, and dealing with a traumatic past herself. She was never able to seek out therapy as needed. When she was a military spouse, they had a ration on it. You got your 10 hours of therapy per whatever, and you gotta get over this, soldier. So she never really got over some of the trauma in her past, much less the stuff that he inflicted. And so when her and I got together, and after we got married, it was the first time that she had had an opportunity to breathe and kind of accept everything that had happened and process it. Up to that point, she was kind of working single mother and taking care of a lot of things. And then when we got real serious, she was able to decompress a little bit, didn't have to be as tightly wound. So after we got married, when our first kid was on the way, she was really hitting a rough patch emotionally, and she was able to seek some therapy, and she had many sessions with this woman even after our kid was born. I think she ended up seeing this woman for about 1.5 years as her therapist, and it helped her out quite a bit. She was able to basically get herself back together, and she has been doing much better since. Now, one of the things that I want to say about that is, at that point in time, when we had first got together and she was pregnant, I had gotten downsized, for lack of a better term, at the company that I was with into a different, lower paying job. So when she was getting this mental help, at the same point in time, I was on a first name basis with 2 collectors, because I was making decent enough money for a single guy at the time. I met my wife, and I was spending the kind of money and making the sort of purchases that you do when you're making the money that I was making, and I had no financial worries. Well, all of a sudden, I get downsized at this particular company I'm at, and I've got half the money or less coming in with the same bills. So I'm on a first name basis with one person's at the bank, with people at the bank and at utilities, and to the point where, and I never saved a phone number in my phone, I would get a phone call from someone at the bank, and, hey Vicky, which one is it? Okay, I'll get it paid. So I was definitely not in the best of places financially then, and she was still able to find mental help that didn't cost us anything. Fast forward about a year or so after that, I had gotten into a much better position financially. I had a job with good insurance and was fairly well taken care of financially. I was able to get off that first name basis, and I had to seek some therapy for my kids due to some of the trauma that they had gone through, and it's helped them a lot. I've got one of my kids in therapy right now. She's got an appointment coming up here pretty soon. She's been going for about a month now, I guess, and it's just helping her piece together some of the memories that she has to deal with. So, and again, I've got insurance, so that covers like 80 to 90% of it. My wife had a episode at one point last year where she ended up actually needing to go to a emergency mental health facility in order to receive treatment. She was in all the moods at the same time, in the worst interpretations of those moods. So she was able to get diagnosed with the problem and get treated with medication, and it's really balanced her out quite a bit. Sure, she still has mood swings, but they're not nearly as severe, and there is a science behind, like she explained the actual science behind the medications that she's on, her condition, and how it affects the chemical balance of the brain. So, and her medication has helped her out quite a bit. She's also been in therapy for somewhere around a year, dealing with some things from her past and other things, and it just really keeps her on an even keel when she can talk to someone who not only listens but can offer sound mental health advice. So I do agree that mental health care is important. I've actually seen a therapist off and on for about 6 to 8 months now, and it is helpful to have someone to talk to that just gives you not only someone to listen to that can hear whatever you've got to say in total, like, legally binding confidentiality, but who can offer advice on how to help get you out of whatever predicament you find yourself in mentally at that point in time. So that's kind of the gist of what I wanted to say today. Let me know your thoughts on this. I know that I think the biggest problem with mental health care in this country right now is the lack of knowledge in various areas as far as what is or is not available. I think if there were more resources to explain what was available in your area, even if you have no money to spend on it, there's community-based resources that help. And I can say that from the voice of experience and been there, done that. So I think people need to, I think that if there was a kind of a curated wealth of knowledge on that, that it would be a good thing for a lot of people to know what's out there for them. Well, anyway, I guess that's all I've got to talk about today. So be safe. like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell, all the things, and see y'all next time. Oh, real quick, I almost forgot. Tonight I am heading up to go podcast with a buddy of mine on the show I'm No Expert. So I don't know where that's going up, but I will be putting links in the description on a video somewhere. So everybody take care, and I'll see you next time.